guys, Iswa Unlimited TV. All right, we got Brianna in the building. Hey, yo, I'm so excited about this episode. Yes, yes, guys. Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to say happy summer solstice to you guys out there. Those of you that celebrate summer solstice, you guys, we've been going through this big transition and this shift that we've been feeling so toughly. And so I want to start off just saying happy freaking summer solstice, because something is definitely going to happen for us during the summer. I already feel it. I know it. There's so many people that I've been meeting, like our special guest today, who has been feeling that same energy. And a lot of people that I'm meeting now are in this in between phase, letting go of something and into something new. It's something I keep hearing over and over and over. So if that's you, I want you to comment below. What are you releasing and hoping to receive during this summer? All right. So we're celebrating summer solstice. Oh my gosh. Already with proclaiming what it is that we're releasing so that we make room for what we're receiving. All right, guys. So, welcome to Eastsport Unlimited. This is episode 2, you guys, of this series. I'm so excited, you guys. Today, we are starting off episode 2 with our special guest, Brianna Sanborn, here to share her self discovery journey, you guys. The ups, the downs, and everything that's in between that, okay? She's representing Chicago today. Okay, I don't want to say Chi Town because I don't want to make sure I say it wrong. But she's going to talk with us about her transitional phases that she's been going through, especially going from being a therapist to where she is now. This story, you guys, I already feel and know that it's going to be a powerful one. So if you're here, you better put your seatbelt on because I'm even excited about this episode, okay? So, welcome, 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 Brianna. Thank you so much for being here. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm gonna get into a little bit of like current stuff that I'm going through and even taking it back like a decade ago when my awakening first started. There's a lot packed in there, so you tell me where to
Mm.
start.
All right, well, let's start at the major life turning point. What was it the major life? I know in my book I talk about my major point of just losing everything and really having no choice but to die so in order to live, right? So
Mhm.
you talk to us about that major turning point in your life where you knew that something had to change.
Yeah, so that's actually super recent for me. So I had a career as a therapist, and I eventually came to a point where um, I had this inner knowing that there was something else, that this wasn't quite clicking. And I really relate to you mentioning that you had no other choice but to rebirth. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had a similar experience where my career, my work had weighed so heavily on my spirit, on my body, that I was physically ill. Um,
Mm,
these chronic illnesses did start in childhood, but they never went addressed, and my body just kind of adapted to them. Um,
okay.
but through my work, they started getting stronger and stronger to the point where I couldn't ignore it any longer. Medical interventions weren't doing it for me. They weren't really helping. Even doctors were stumped. I had to go to a
Mm,
bunch of different doctors, integrative medicine, functional medicine, just trying to find any sort of path to help me see what was going on. And there were things that came up in testing and things like that, but there wasn't a clear direct path for me figuring out the root of this, like what is going on in my body.
yeah, the root, so important.
Exactly. And that's what I was ambitious to find. I was like, I am not going to let this run my life. I'm not going to just like let this slip by. I'm going to figure this out. And it turned out that my work was actually really weighing on my health, on my body, and
Mm.
it was really devastating for me to come across though, because I worked so hard for this. This is my passion. This is what I, wanted to do for such a long time, and I worked for a very long time to get there. But I eventually realized that pushing through, was really just a form of self-abandonment.
Mm. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Hold on, wait. I got adjusted for that one. Goodness. Isn't that something that I feel like we all can relate to? Feeling abandoned. Whether it's, oh my gosh, some of it, of course, we already know that some of it starts from childhood, right? Feeling, feeling like you haven't received the things that you really desired to receive, the thing that you really felt like you needed. And especially going through different things in life during your childhood. It could have been like parents divorcing or, just anything, not even having one of your parents in your life and just feeling that or always moving. Like it's so many different scenarios I think that we all can relate to where we felt that abandonment. So yeah, keep going. I'm like, oh, I'm yes.
Well, on that note, I'll open up a little bit about this, is I have complex trauma, if you've heard of
Mm.
that. Yeah, and
Tell
so
us what that is.
basically it's not just one big trauma that happens that changes someone's life. It's more like complex events that happen on top of each other that eventually can lead to PTSD symptoms.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I learned a whole lot about my experience with that through my schooling, which was really helpful for me, and that actually led to me specializing in trauma as a therapist, which is, I think, why my work was a little heavier and why it weighed on me a little bit more, and on top of
Yeah.
that, yeah, and I was so dedicated to this work that I didn't just it wasn't just a job. Like, I put my heart and soul into it, and I
Yeah.
think that's really where my body and my spirit said, "We can't do this like this anymore."
Mm. Oh my, you gave me chills, by the way,
Well,
because I can feel that energy. Like I know as a coach and mentor myself, talking to different people, I know that it's hard sometimes. You really have to learn to shield yourself, cleanse your energy. I had to learn that because, like you said, sometimes you take those things home or some things ponder in your mind. You're wishing that it'll just stay right there and then you can just cut the switch off. And sometimes it's easier said than done. But I definitely can relate to just that energy of feeling that. But I want to say this too. You talked about your uh going through trauma experiences, right? And then because of your trauma, you decided to go into a field to help others with theirs. But what gave me the chills is when you said that I'm like, look, okay, your heart, you said I put your heart into this, your heart and your soul. Well, during that time, your heart and your soul was put into something, and your heart and your soul was needing to be healed itself. So you were stacking other people's things on top of your heart and your soul, giving, giving, giving when you didn't have anything really to give from those spaces because you were dealing with your own trauma that probably wasn't completely healed yet.
yeah,
So you were easily able to take it in. Oh my gosh. Like, you know how it all relates to like, I want to give in the area that I needed help with, you know, and then
exactly.
going and being of service to others to help them. I think that is a beautiful, amazing thing. And now it was that indicator. Your heart and soul was like, look, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. And now you had to listen because it started affecting your body. Whoa. That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, this I told y'all this was gonna be good. Yeah.
Yeah, it really left me depleted, and I had to be really honest with myself and really, um, put myself first, and that seemed
Yeah.
selfish to me, but I've learned it's not. It's
Hmm.
how am I going to help others if I'm depleted, right?
Listen, I used to tell people exactly, Bree. I used to tell people this. I used to say, look, let's just scratch this real quick. Let's just say self care is selfish. Well, doggone it, I'm being selfish because who better to be selfish about anything but with yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like with your own needs, your own desires, your own space, your own boundaries. You know what I mean? What better way? Like nobody else is going to put you first. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
who's who's filling that slot of
Mhm.
putting
Mhm.
yourself first? Who's filling that cup that you have? You know? So definitely I know it's that saying. It's like, oh, I don't want to be selfish, and I had to tell people after a while. I was just like, yeah, because having kids and everything, you definitely, and even if you don't, it's just something I think that we all just kind of deal with, putting ourselves first,
Mhm.
and even speaking good things into our life, because you speak so highly of yourself, you're arrogant, you're thinking too much. If you're
Yeah.
not putting yourself first, then you're sacrificing and you're being a people pleaser, and you're putting everyone before you, and then that's selfish, right? So it's always something. But I'm glad that you're working this out. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep keep going.
No, I appreciate your insight, and I relate to all of that. That's exactly where my head has been at in these past few months when I've made this decision to walk away from my
Mhm.
career where, again, I worked so hard for, and, you know, I couldn't have imagined anything else for myself.
Yeah.
But it became just really clear to me that I had to walk away for my own self, and I have to find work that is aligned with my spirit and that will support my body and my health.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. All right, let me see. So we know it started somewhere, and it started to your body started speaking up. Your body started speaking up and was like, look, no, 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 no. I'm tired of this. And you stacking stuff on top. And then your body has this tower moment where it's just like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah,
We need you to pay attention.
yeah,
And then you start having these symptoms going on with your body and then noticing, hey, what's up, Midwest Nate? How are you? And then your body starts having these feelings and different things that you said no one could figure out. You went to
yeah,
place after place and you start noticing that this was something that was more than just a physical thing. It was
yeah.
something that had been there for a long time physically, but probably even longer energetically. So tell us a little bit about what you started doing after you really figured all this out about your body and stuff like that.
Diet was a big one. I had to cut a lot of different things out, like gluten and dairy, which I know is like really common with people with gut problems like I have. So that was like the physical part where I really had to tend to my body physically, exercise and
Mm,
diet. One of the most life-changing things that I started doing was parts work. Have you ever heard of that before?
no, parts work, like PARTS. Okay. All right. Parts. Okay. Parts work.
S so it's based on a theory in the field of psychology called internal family systems. It's
Okay.
essentially this theory that we all have different parts of ourselves that are different ages. It's like an internal family working together that make, ourselves, basically.
Whoa. Oh my God. Okay. I'm listening. I'm listening.
So
Wow.
yeah, so it's actually a trauma therapy, and I'm not trained in it. I never got trained, but I did read the book called No Bad Parts from Richard,
Mm.
yeah, from Richard Schwartz. He's the one who founded this theory in psychology.
Okay. So can you guys type that in the chat? Type it in the chat, in the comments or something, even, whenever you get a chance. You've heard of that? Okay. Awesome. You've heard of it. Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, it's actually not very well known, so that's pretty cool that you've heard of it. I really love that.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, so we have these different parts of ourselves that are working inside of ourselves that are, have you ever heard like some might say, one part of me feels this way, but another part of me feels that way?
Yes. Yes.
So we all have all these parts that feel a different way about different things, where one might
Mm.
be protecting us. They might say, no, we can't do that. That's dangerous. And we might have another part that's saying, no, you need to quiet down. We need to do this thing. And that can cause a lot of internal conflict.
Yeah.
And, that was probably the most powerful thing that I did, working with the different parts of myself, identifying them, connecting with them, speaking with them, that really took my healing to the next level.
I hope y'all just heard what she said. She said she started speaking to them. Come on, Bree, you gotta will us in. Take us a little bit deeper. What were you saying to these parts of your body? What were you? Come on, I'm trying to picture this. Take us through that process.
Well, it's actually like reparenting. You're essentially
Mm.
acting as if you are now that part, that child's parent.
So you were speaking to the yeah. He said yes. So you're speaking to the different parts of your body.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, okay. So walk us through maybe two parts of your body that you had to speak to, and what is something like similar to what you said.
Yeah, so ooh, this is interesting. So, some of my health problems, have you ever heard of SIBO, SIBO?
I've seen it.
It's
Yeah, you're
basic
educating me too. Okay, look.
It's basically it's not very well known, I don't think. It's becoming more known because it's more, there's more research on it these days. But it's
Okay.
basically like bacteria just goes to the wrong part in your small intestines, and then it basically like steals your nutrients and ferments it, and it just causes a lot of like bloating and icky stuff in your gut.
Mm.
And it's actually your small intestine is actually in your solar plexus area.
I'm gonna wait because that was my next thing to tell you. I was gonna say, so we're talking about this gut. We all know, like you know what I'm saying. I'm like, let's talk about this solar plexus thing that occurred because I know once you started healing, your gut and different parts of your body. I know for sure. I just heard solar plexus, so I know something had to take place within that. And we know the solar plexus deals with that confidence, that and that's what when I'm doing readings with people in the solar plexus, that's where I see them. And
Mhm.
it's a lot of times where I see different scenarios of what people are going through, or their spirit animals. So I love working with the solar plexus.
Yeah, I have learned to do a lot of work in that area because I was holding a lot of trauma there, a lot of um,
Mm,
grief and this lack of self-confidence and just lack of worthiness, right?
yeah.
And a lot of those conversations were, it's a lot of repetitive stuff that you're gonna have to tell these parts, right? Like, we're safe,
Mhm.
we're okay, we're not stuck in the past, right? Because these parts,
Mm.
they actually get stuck where they got wounded.
Come on. Come on, speak to us, Bree. You the therapist. Come on, speak to us. I'm loving this. Yes. You
Yeah,
better speak to those parts.
exactly, and it's an ongoing conversation, and they might talk back. They might say,
Mhm.
I can't trust you, right? You've put me in
Mm.
these dangerous situations before. You've done me wrong. You have, numbed out in certain ways. You've abandoned us, right?
Listen, I'm thinking of two body parts right now where I need to speak. I need to go ahead and speak to them because you're bringing up things even for me where I'm thinking in my head. Like, for instance, okay, can I share a little bit? Y'all want to hear a little bit? Look, his mind is blown. Mine is too. Mine is too. I can't believe this. I'm interviewing you and you're making me see this is why you still got that therapist in you that you're gonna revisit that. It's just
Yeah,
gonna now it's gonna be totally it's gonna be different.
yeah.
Because with you being healed and with you really sitting, with all of that, taking that in, you're opening up and activating your throat chakra. You're sharing it with people. So when you go back into that, because I do believe that that is something that, it's going to bring you joy and peace, and it's healing in itself, right? I think if you go back into that, definitely you're going to go into it with a different mindset, a new version of you. You won't be the old person's going to be gone. The way you did it before is going to be gone, and you're going to have a different perspective,
Mhm,
um, and more knowledge, and also just being able to like help people from a different point of view now. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying?
mhm,
So for me, it's like, to me, I've had like, for instance, it's an example, this shoulder pain, right? For
mhm,
many, many years. My shoulder pain, it started with my first child breastfeeding because I would have to lay on the side, on the shoulder all the time, and I'll be get so upset. And then with each kid, it just got worse and worse and worse, you know.
Mhm.
So for me, I feel like after you saying that, I could just see this shoulder just always being so tense and feeling like it's carrying so much, you know, on this side, so much responsibility, so much, you know what I'm saying, just like a lot, in addition to already carrying things on your shoulders that you carry weight for years, you
Yeah.
know. But with this particular one, it's just definitely been something that I've been working through and working on getting stronger. And now you mention it, you know, I haven't talked to, I'm in gratitude. I do gratitude stuff. So I'm like, ooh, you know, look, I taught people how to make a body scrub the other day, and I'm like, listen, when you're in the shower, you better start talking to your body and giving thanks. You know, thank you so much, shoulder, for carrying all this weight. I'm dropping it now. You know what I'm saying? Like talking to your arms and everything. But speaking to it from this perspective and being like, look, listen, I know you've carried a lot. I know you had a lot of responsibility. I know you know, and even just more. I don't want to go into detail and like say a whole bunch of things because I don't want it to just be about my shoulder, okay? But as an example, speaking to it in a different way,
Mhm.
you know, and just calling it out and being like, you know, there was a lot of pain there, not even just physically, but being exhausted, you know what I'm saying, and different things. So just speaking to those areas, showing it love and gratitude for what it's been through and for how it continues to show up for you, you know, forgiving yourself for even sometimes I feel like we feel the things we know, but then we just move on.
Mhm.
So it's neglect too. So we've been taught neglect because we've seen it, we've experienced it, and then we start turning our neglect around as a mirror reflection, and we start neglecting ourselves,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So it's being like, you know, I'm sorry I neglected you. I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention to the signs. That I wasn't
Mhm.
hearing you all the times you were screaming out and telling me the things to do, and I just kept walking around. I just kept, you know, oh, it'll get better. Oh, you know. So I mean, that's the first thing I thought about when you said that. I'm like, let me speak to my shoulder because this has got to go. This all this, you know, this
Mhm.
trauma, the things that I'm thinking about in my mind right now, that's related to this. Just so many tears, so many, you know, sleepless nights and even in the gym trying to work it out and just being so exhausted and upset, you know.
Mhm.
So I think that it can turn into more if you allow it to. But stopping it, talking to it, I think, I mean, was that, is that on what you're talking about? Because that's that's what I thought of.
Absolutely, absolutely. That
Okay.
part in your shoulder is screaming for your attention, just like you were saying, and when you
Mm-hmm.
talk to it, you can literally feel the release.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? See, we might have to just come and do a whole live and just work and be like, "You listen, she's gonna show us some stuff and some different things to touch on different parts of our body and some things that we can say and do." And I feel like as you go along this journey, you're probably gonna be doing that. You're probably gonna be doing that. You might do that
Mhm.
with people if you don't already do it, and be and doing videos telling people, "Listen, this is what you do. Some affirmations or some different things you can do to speak to the different parts of your body."
You know what? I wasn't even planning on talking about that today, but you're inspiring me of like, "Ooh, maybe there's more I could do with this."
Yeah. Oh, you know, I am that person. So I'm a projector. Okay. So,
I can
so
see
you know, we
that,
go
yeah.
in. You know,
Yeah.
we're like, tell me something. You let me in. Boom. I'm done. Okay. You can do this. We will map out your whole business plan.
I need you.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, that's why I said when we share stories with each other, you never know who you meet. You never know why and what comes up for what reason. And sometimes it could literally be something that we feel like is so small, but it's something that's you resonate with it, and it's confirmation for something that's deep within you that it might even be, you know, dormant for a minute. You know, I'd be like, okay,
Mhm.
wait a minute, I'm not sure. Or some people it's fear, you know, okay, I'm not sure how to do this. Do I really want to do this? You know, how will people respond to this? You know, and it's the things that we've experienced And that's so authentic to our journey, right? Because we've gone through these things and then we've been authentic with other people about it. It's those things. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's not going to always come from a book. Sometimes it's not always going to come from a class. It's not always going to come from a conference. It's literally going to be that simple, something you experience that changed your life, and then sharing that with someone else,
Yeah, totally.
you know?
Mhm.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so where are we on this journey? So you started talking to the different parts of your body. So tell us what happened when you started doing that.
A lot of tears, a lot of
Mm.
release, a lot of memories started
Ooh.
surfacing. Yeah.
Whew. Take a deep breath on that one.
Yeah.
We don't want those memories. We're like, can we just heal without the memories? Ooh, how did you manage that? Going through all those memories.
It was tough because, like I mentioned, I did go through some complex trauma, and so I dissociated a lot throughout my life, and so it was jarring to say, "Oh, there are
Mm.
all these memories, all these things that happened and, occurred in my life that I didn't even register, I didn't even remember before." And so it was a continuous process of rediscovering who I am, what happened to me, and, we have a little bit of a friend appearance here, so sorry for my cat.
Oh, no, don't say sorry. We love spirit animals. We love animals. We love spirit animals, and when they show up, I listen. Okay? Because it's always for a reason. I love it.
He loves to be seen, so I'm not surprised he came up here.
He's like, hold on, wait, what y'all talking about? I think I need to be a part of this interview for a second. Hold on, right? Yes, come on, come on through.
But yeah, it was jarring. It was really, disorienting at times, but also very enlightening, right?
Mm.
Like, it felt like I was
Mhm.
calling lost parts of me home, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Ooh, yes. Oh my gosh. You're alchemizing that negative experience into something that will fuel you, something that's brand new. Okay, I get that.
Mhm.
Ooh wee. Come on, keep going. I love it. Oh my gosh. Mm.
So yeah, a lot of tears, a lot of, like, physical sensations came with this as well. I would have, like, gurgling in my stomach, or, like, I felt movement in certain areas in my body, or, like, I felt the need to move and it would crack.
Mm.
So a lot of
Okay.
somatic sensations with all of this as well.
Yes. Have you seen, I don't know what it's called, but it's when you ever see those people laying out on the tables or on the ground and someone's coming and they're doing this like energetic thing with their spine and stuff, and they don't touch them, but they're like this, and then their body starts waving and moving and popping and doing different things, and they're crying and they're releasing. It reminded me of that, but it's like you're doing that same thing on yourself.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I didn't even think of
Wow.
it that way, but now that you say that, I'm like, "Wow, I was doing some pretty profound, like, energy work on my own body without even meaning to."
Yes. It's something that this is why I do what I do, because I remind people of the power that they have within them. I'm like, look, everything outside of you is extra. You've got
Mhm.
to be your everything. You've got to be your crystal. You've got to be your sage. You've got to be your flow to water. You got to be your therapist. You've got to be your first lover, your first giver, your first receiver. You have literally got to be everything for yourself first.
Yeah.
Everything else is the bonus. So to me it's like, yeah, definitely I wanted to have Reiki services done, but I was like, look, I before I do a service for anyone else, before, like, if I'm doing clients and stuff, the first thing I do is Reiki on myself. When
Mhm,
I sit down
mhm.
in that chair, before I have everything, I'm doing Reiki on myself first. You know what I mean? Because I have to be that for me, clearing my energy. And then when I'm done, sometimes I might do it again or wash my hands or just speak the intention of, not taking all that in so
Yeah,
much, so that I can move throughout my day, not have these things in the back of my mind, or how we are.
yeah. Totally. I love that. Be everything for yourself. I have
Mhm.
never heard something like that, but through this process, through this journey, it has been a lonely one, and I have become all of those things for myself without even recognizing it.
See? You see, I'm like, look, we are waking up to the power that we have within us, and it's like this. People call it a remembering of who you are. See, your higher self, your soul knows all this stuff. So you're
Yeah,
catching up to that part, and you're just acting it out now. And sometimes it's just in the subconscious, but you're acting it out now. And like you said, you're not even aware. You're like, wait, hold on, what? Oh, hold on, wait, I did that. Oh my gosh. And it comes out of you like, I was doing mirror work before I even knew that that's what it was. Sometimes we don't really always need the words or like I tell people, Reiki is Reiki, right? But let's remove the word. What is it? It's energy. It'll always be energy, and
yeah,
your energy too. So you're able to connect with that. My husband taught me about that, about connecting to being that energy. So not just being your all, it encompasses being every energy. I have to be love. I have to be
yeah,
the unconditional, right? I have to be that energy of these different things that I'm desiring. So yeah, yeah, I'm glad that you're able to see that and walk in your power, even if you didn't notice it yet.
yeah. I think I struggle with that a bit, like recognizing my strengths. I'm like, oh, I'm just like doing things, and this is what I do. But I need people like you to say, no, you're doing the work.
You're doing the work, yes, and reminding you of who you are.
Yeah,
I'm all about self-empowerment, fearlessness, love, freedom. It all starts in the mind, but I'm all about doing that. I love motivating people. I love inspiring people, and I love just really reminding people of who they are. Because we
yeah,
can forget because of all the things that we've been piled on top of each other, and but once you start walking in that, like you are doing already, and that's when you know you're powerful. When you're like, wait, did I do that? And it's like, like you're like, yeah, I guess I really, that, and you're like, all right, look, wake up. You know you're powerful. Wake up. You know just what to do.
yeah.
And so it's amazing. Hi, Miss Lisa. How are you? Glad to see you here. Yeah. So okay. So how has those experience talking to yourself? Your body's communicating. You had this, oh my gosh, this energetic communication with your body, and you were able to transfer that communication into the physical, where you
Mhm.
start feeling things and seeing things. I mean, did you say you were seeing things? No. See, well, you probably were.
In some ways, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And then it
mhm.
transferred into that. So how has that experience shaped who you are today?
Um, Let me find where I wanna start with that.
Okay, okay.
It has changed the way that I feel through things. I spent a long
Mm,
time thinking through things and thinking that that was enough, like, that was, the extent that I had to go, but I was so disconnected from my body, right? Like,
mm.
I was completely dissociated from my body that I couldn't tune in properly. And
Yeah.
so through all of that release, through that connecting, I learned how to go inward, right? Like I was
Yes.
always looking outward. I was looking for what I needed out here when I really just had to like dig deeper and deeper and release enough to feel inside of me within, right?
Mhm. Yeah. That communication, man, that's amazing. So you're an amazing communicator now with yourself, you know, um, and through that communication, you've been building your intuition.
Yes, exactly.
You've had to go through a process of not having trust, because trust was like at the center of this.
Mhm.
not trusting yourself, not being able to trust others, not trusting when you were young. And so that trust, it had to meet you face to face when you went through this process. Because the only way you really get to using your intuition in that way, how you've done, that really you healed yourself. Come on,
Yeah.
you are alchemist. Look, I'm telling you, so magical. The only
Thank
way you got
you.
to that point is going through trust. Trust was like, hey,
Yes.
girl, listen, I'm gonna need you to trust me a little bit on this because I kind of know I've been giving you the signs and you answered the call.
Exactly. Answering the call is actually what I've been saying recently because to step away from a career where I went through 7 years of schooling for, and after only a few years, my body's screaming to step away and to think about actually doing that. I had to really trust that
Ooh,
voice.
ooh, yes. And that's another thing I think. Going like you said, going through that for 7 years. I
Yeah.
love the number seven, by the way, but going through that for 7 years. And we go to school, like you said, and we put all of our energy and time into something we think is going to be forever. Not saying that it won't, because sometimes it is the very key to the door that we need to unlock.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
always say we are the keys. We are the key, but this situation was the key.
Yeah.
You were the key in that because you chose this, you chose to do it, you were walking in that, and everything. And then you decided, hey, look, okay, this was the what needed to happen for me to open that door.
Mhm.
So what I'm hearing is like you said, you had to trust.
Yeah.
You had to let go of your idea and thought of, I did all this work. Oh my gosh. I'm so upset because, and it's like sometimes even the journey to get where we really want to go to is going to look a little different. It might cause us to come out of it, have an experience, heal, and go back into it, maybe in a different way,
Mhm.
but we're still using that. And I want you to know this too, is what I'm hearing is like the process that you, number one, you already know you're going to be sharing. I feel like you have this energy of someone that is going to bring something new, a new way of doing this,
Mhm.
because of your personal experience, because of what you've had to go through. And that unique way is going to attract people to you. You know what I'm saying? If you're, and it's like, if you're ready. It's like, if you're ready,
Yeah.
because you got to be ready for this. And only you would really know, how ready you are. But it does feel like that, sitting with yourself, taking some time, continuing to take that time, you know, going within, talking to yourself. um, you're going to know exactly what to do and when.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like you're the person that rushes into anything. It seems
Yeah.
like you're the person that you got to sit with it and it's got to be told to you and it's got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? But also, you had to experience letting go of what made sense,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know?
Exactly.
So then you're able to have that in there right there, grab along. It's like, okay, wait, I know how to mingle with this energy,
Mhm. Mhm.
and take a step,
Yeah.
and just do it because
Mhm.
like I said, it's like all that knowledge and stuff that you went through was not in vain. It was really honestly you. Yourself, your body was speaking to you, telling you what you needed to learn.
Mhm.
You went to those 7 years were those, I call them those little pillars, those little doors, those things that you went through for you to learn more to be able to assist yourself in healing. Because we got to
Yeah.
be our first healer, right? We're our first healer. And then we're able to go out and share that healing experience with others and hopefully drop some mustard seeds to their healing process as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I look at it as, like, a little bit of a detour, but I don't regret it whatsoever. I think that
Yeah.
knowledge, just like you were saying, is exactly what I needed to get to where I'm at right now. Even though it was a
Yes.
lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of work, it was all
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. And you're gonna make that back.
Yeah.
Let me stop. This happens. I'm always talking to people. I'm trying to, but you're gonna make it back. It's gonna come back, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my freaking god! I didn't know." So like, yeah, girl, it's just like. All right. So let me ask you this question. If there was someone watching and they were in the same place where you were, I want you to give them some type of advice. What would you tell them right now, knowing everything you've known and everything you've been through? And what would you say to them?
I would tell them that they're not alone, even if it feels that way, and
Mm.
also the ups and downs are needed, right? Like, a lot of
Oof.
us think that when we're in those valleys, those downs, that we're doing something wrong. I hear that
Mm.
all the time, and I have felt that way countless times of like, what am I doing wrong? What is happening here? But I realize that those dips are needed so that the ups can even exist, right?
You need to say that again. Come on, who all the people in here? She gonna say it again. Oh my gosh, I love it. Can you say that again?
Yeah, so those dips are needed so that the ups can exist, right? If we're just going straight ahead, nothing's happening.
Ooh,
Nothing's changing.
ooh, man, I get it. It's just like light and dark. It's like everybody wants to
Yes.
make it to the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm up here saying, listen, first of all, you need the light. Why are we running from it in the first place? Right. Oh, right. You know what I'm saying? You need those dips, right? Just straight up speaking to me right now. We're exchanging this energy back and forth. It's like, look, we all can relate to having those down moments. And like you said, the key is feeling like we've done something wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not meditating enough. Maybe I'm not, my mindset is wrong about this particular thing. Maybe I'm not doing the thing that I need to be doing. I'm not on the right path because I'm not seeing the results right now that I need. Or because maybe something dropped in my income and I'm just like, oh my gosh, freaking out. And it's like, no, you need that dip.
Yeah.
That dip is a rebirth. That dip is a new
Exactly.
part of your self discovery journey. That dip is those dark places that we're afraid to go to because we're like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh, I don't know if I like this. Oh, this is bringing up some stuff, some triggers that I need to release. And once you go through that, you're like, look, I needed to go through that so I can elevate. I needed to
Yeah.
go through that so I can realize I'm no longer waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel. I am the freaking light. So anytime I get ready, turn that light switch on and I'm taking off and that's when I go up.
Mhm.
Girl, look, mm-hmm. You see? I love it. Oh my gosh. You need that. I'm stuck on that. I'm stuck on that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Bree, please tell us what is next for you. What are you stepping into now? Where are you on this journey?
So I just stepped away from my career 1 week ago, so I'm a little
Okay.
bit in this, like, redefinition period, this threshold period where I'm open to the possibilities, the opportunities, and whatever might come my way or on my path. I'm not rushing it. I'm just, like,
Mm-hmm.
truly feeling my way through this
Mm,
journey.
yes. Oh my gosh. I think, yeah, I feel that. I feel that from you. It's like sitting with yourself for a minute. You've taken on so much stuff. Now it's like, let me be with myself for a minute. Let me
Yeah,
figure out, let me feel my way through intuitively what my next moves are. I totally get that because I think that a lot of us will rush into something else before we really realize what was we doing before? Like what was this process for? You
yeah,
know? And I think we just move forward. Like, all right, one thing's gone, let's move on to the next thing before we sit with ourselves. So um I'm just in gratitude for you being here today. I love that. Absolutely love it. I feel like that's a reminder we all need. We need those downs for the ups. We need to talk to ourselves and listen, and speak to our bodies more, you know, and
yeah,
um and also not be afraid to let go in order to gain, even if it's in a different area. And what
yeah.
what a better way, like what a better way to gain. I can't think of how to say this, okay, but with what am I trying to say? Gaining. Look at what I'm trying. You know what I'm saying though. But it's like, what a better way to give to yourself, to release something and gain something for you instead of, someone else, or,
Yeah,
in that way, but giving to yourself that gift, you know, of listening, of acknowledging, of becoming one with, you know. So I love that. So now you're just in this phase of just being, being
exactly.
present.
Yeah, being in my body for, like, the first time ever,
Oh
which is
my gosh. Yes. I love
and
that for you.
one thing about that too that I didn't expect is, like, because 'cause I'm not living by a clock anymore, that used to be my life, living on the clock, right? Like,
Mhm.
having hour sessions, having to leave at this time to be at work at this time, right? Like, just living by the clock. This past week, I barely looked at the clock, and time
Mm.
just feels fluid. It feels natural, and that's a gift.
Ooh. Yes. It feels like you're in control of your own
Yeah,
reality instead of people just saying it. It's like now you're feeling in control and you're feeling one with being in the present moment, one with yourself. So this is beautiful, beautiful journey. I just really enjoyed this. I had an amazing time talking to you so far, and I think this is a beautiful journey that a lot of people that are going through these diseases in their body can realize that this is communication. Your
yeah,
body's trying to communicate with you and let you know like what's going on, and that you need to be the one to heal you. You said you went through so many doctors and different things and nothing was working. So you took the steps to actively do something. But your body chose you.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
That's a really
you
great way to
chose
put
your
it.
you chose yourself. He said, "This is
Yeah.
great. Thanks to you both for this encouraging and enlightening conversation. Yes, can we get a part two?" And it walks into the next chapter so we can see how things. Yes, what do you think? I
I
would
would love
love to do a part
to.
two. Ooh, yeah, come on. I want to see where this goes to, because I know what I see, but I wanna watch a journey. I wanna see where you go from here because in my mind, I see you doing these videos. I see you slowly just kind of sharing your experience and doing parts of it, part videos
Mm,
and sharing your experiences with people, and also walking through the process of talking to the different parts of your body, even if you did a different part every week. Like today we're talking about the shoulder. Today we're talking about the your stomach area, the abdomen, where the solar plexus is. We're talking about the gut today, because I think that when people really hear it in that way, even from someone that has been to school and that's a therapist as well, you're still a therapist. Okay, look, and someone that can relate the spiritual side of things, the oneness side of things with that side of things and put those two together, I think that's a recipe for greatness.
mhm, mhm. Wow,
Yeah.
thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
Oh, thank you. Girl, look, I'm you, you're me. We're good. I love it. So, you guys, for a second, I want to talk about this because I too have gone through my own death experience, you guys. I have a book out. It's called The Time I Had to Die. Guys, I have the author's copy right here with me today. Ooh! And I'm so excited. This is my third book, but of this series, it's the very first one. It's called The Time I Had to Die. It talks all about my journey of death, rebirth, and self discovery. It goes right along with what Bree's talking about. She had to go through her own journey of death, the death of who she thought she was, what she thought she was going to do with her life, how she thought it was going to be done, that death of the old things that she's been going through, those traumatic experiences from childhood, those old relationships and different things that had to move itself out of the way. And then she had to go through her rebirth. Okay, that rebirthing experience for her was really being able to talk to her body, learning her body more, becoming one with herself, being okay with just being and being okay with trusting. That's the rebirth, going from doing something for so long and you feel like this is what's going to happen, and then you having to trust yourself to let that go to service yourself, putting yourself first. That is the ultimate self-care right there.
Yeah.
It just is. It's like, I mean, how many people can say that they would be willing to leave a career to heal themselves? They'll be looking for some type of pill, some type of something, you know? It's like, "Ooh, what's the quick fix?" You know? And you're like, "I'm gonna move with this in the way that I feel intuitively." Because
Yeah.
if I know that if I can talk to my body, if I can change my diet a little bit, if I can just be one with myself, trusting myself has got me this far. And if I can do that, I can show up as a different version of myself, one that's stronger, one that's more confident, more that feels self empowered, one that's fearless now because I had to let go of something that was huge. So
Mhm.
I'm fearless now. You know what I'm saying? One that loves myself even more because before maybe you didn't know what unconditional love was. Maybe you didn't know what that felt like. But through this process, I feel like you have learned and grown so much in the self love area and in the confidence area. It's a beautiful thing. And so now,
Mm.
guys, as she's learning on her self discovery journey, as I was, um, this is going to be a beautiful thing to watch as you continue to learn more and use your experience, your life. Some people they're therapists and they don't have the life experience. You know what I mean? Like I mean, they just go so much off of the book, and now you're going to be able to turn that around and use your personal experience with that too. So, you
Mm.
guys, if you've gone through this same thing that me and Bree have gone through, look, we've gone through our death, our rebirth, and on that self discovery journey. Then I want you to start with this book right here. It is going to be the link in the bio. I'm talking about being a mother. I'm talking about being a wife. I'm talking about this relationship that I didn't have with myself, dealing with low self esteem. I too had to look at myself in the mirror and say, look, I'm going to love you. You know, in those dark moments, picking yourself up, feeling alone, right? Feeling like nobody else understands. And that's a really hard place to be in. And I think a lot of people can relate to just that, feeling alone in the process when you're going through these different things. What do you do? I talk about my Reiki experience and hearing from my higher self for the first time. Okay. Book two is going to be talking about when I met my higher self. But book one is I'm hearing the voice and I'm figuring out who this person is that's talking to me and answering the very questions that I asked and that I was fearful of. And then I go through my beginning of my self discovery journey, learning about this new version of myself without the titles, without the mother title, without the wife title, without the business entrepreneur title. You know what I'm saying? Like without all those titles, who was I underneath the titles? And I talk about all of that in my book, The Time I Had to Die, a journey of death, rebirth, and self discovery. And if you're on that journey, I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Okay. So Bree, where can they find you on social media? Are you active on social media? Do you have a channel talking about any of the things? Or are you just gonna be getting to that point?
I'm actually not active on social media right now, but I
Okay.
do have an email set up if anyone resonates with anything that I said today and wants to reach out, connect, ask questions. I am definitely available there.
Yeah.
It's Brianna Lynn, so BriannaLynn dot healing at gmail.com.
Okay, say it one more time for the people in the back. I know they had trouble hearing. No.
Brianna Lynn. Oh, I'm so sorry, and I missed the ending part. This is a newer email.
Okay.
BriannaLynn dot healing 1133 at gmail.com.
All right, you guys. You guys heard her. She's not playing. She said, "I'm open to the questions. I'm open to." So you guys, look, if I were you, I would be emailing her. Look, she already told you 7 years. That's a lot. She knows what
Yeah.
she's talking about, and because she's been able to heal herself, I know that she's gonna be able to assist you, and especially if you can relate to even having those diseases in your body. How do you do that? What does that look like? So. Bree, I'm so grateful and thankful. Do you have anything else that you want to say before we close out? I think we have about 6 minutes left. We can dance and also just want to see what else you want. I love dancing. Look.
I just want to tell you how grateful I am for you for offering this experience.
Thank
It's
you.
Of course, it's funny because you came up on my For You page on TikTok like, right around the time that I was about to put my notice into work. This was a couple months ago, actually.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I resonated with your reading so much with your I think it was just a collective reading, I believe. It was so long ago, I can't remember exactly, but I looked into your information because I was like, "No, she's so spot on. This is crazy. I need to know who this person is." And I
Oh,
stumbled across this and I was like, "You know what? Why not? Let's just hop on, tell our story, and see what happens." So I really
you're
appreciate
amazing.
you offering this
Oh,
space.
thank you so much. I appreciate that. Look, I don't take it for granted at all. I absolutely love this. This is something I love to do. It brings me so much joy. I just love learning. I love hearing about people's stories. I love being a part of the process of sharing it, healing, um, going inside a little bit deeper and bringing some little things out, and also just being a reflection, reminding you of who
Mhm.
you are, and seeing how self-empowered we already are. We just got to wake up to it. You know, we're just waking
Yeah.
up to it right now. So, but thank you so much for that. I appreciate it because look, I'm ready to do more. So if you are on here and you're watching this right now and you want to share your story just like Brianna did, look, we're gonna be on here every Sunday that I have, a client every Sunday. Um, as I have people that sign up for this, and if you want to share your story, you can go ahead and email iswamagic@gmail.com. ISWAMAGIK. It'll be a link below as well at gmail.com. So you can email me if you would like to be on here and share your story. You got an interesting story to tell. I know you do. If you're watching this, I know you have a story to tell. So I'm excited about that. So if you have that, let me know and we can go from there. Um, Share this live with someone you feel like really resonates with it, or you feel like really needs to hear something like this. I know lots of times we see people in our lives who we feel like we know that we're like prompting them to, like, like, look, listen, I know you're going through this, like, that change. I know a lot of people, they want to help people to change, and the thing is, you can't force someone to change, but maybe sometimes you can share something with them. you know Maybe sometimes you can do things like that that will help them in that process, because sometimes, like I said, it is lonely, but you're never alone. As I tell people, you might think you're alone, but you are so not alone. Oh my God, look. And you did all this, and so are you into you believe in angels and spirit guides and ancestors and different things, spirit animals and stuff like that as well? Okay, so you've been hearing
Absolutely.
them. Yes, awesome. See, see, I love that. I told them, I was like, look, you've got me this far, um, and on this journey. You've helped me out so much. I'm taking you with me. So that's why I do those spirit animal readings. That's why I, talk about it in my videos, on TikTok and stuff. It's because it's a personal thing for me too on my journey,
Mhm.
learning about that, conquering my fear of feeling and not seeing, you know,
Yeah.
um, and then embracing the feeling, embracing what that is. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So we got to do this again. It's going to be amazing. Anything else before we close out?
Um, just keep going. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's all that you can do. You're not gonna get all of it done at once, but and it might take longer than you want it to, but as long as you keep taking baby steps, you will get to exactly where you need to be.
That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say, Bree. Come on, we got to dance this song out. We got some seconds left. Let's go. Because we glowing up, y'all. Bree done glowed up, y'all. She's
I'm trying.
Hey, 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 look, glow up. You already did. You blew up, and now you're moving to another phase in your life right now, and you're about to be so excited, so happy. You know, it's gonna bring a new energy, and you're gonna be like, "Ooh, why didn't I do this before?" So I love that. Thank you so much, Bree. You have my email, so contact me anytime. We can collab on something together. Whatever it is you want to do, let me know. I love to keep in contact with you, and I would love to follow your journey and just see where you go from here.
I would be honored. Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time, next Sunday. Episode 3. You guys, I enjoyed myself today. I'm gonna see you guys later. Thank you so much again. Reach out to me. I'm telling you, don't be a stranger. And I'll see you guys. Love you. And remember, always remember this, you guys, that you are magic. So today, be magical. Spread love and share your story, no matter how long it takes. Took me 5.5 years. And this is just part 1. So no matter how long it takes, share your story because you deserve to be heard. All right. All right. Peace, you guys. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
You're welcome. Oh, yeah.